Jono, I'd be delighted if you'd care to explain how this knockout phase works for me.
So the knockout phase starts at this. So there's 7 teams in the round robin group. England as the group winners, they get a bye straight into the semi-final. So England in the semi-final already. So that leaves 3 quarter-finals in effect. So France take on Luxembourg, Ireland take on Sweden, and then we have this one, Switzerland against Belgium. Switzerland finishing 4th, Belgium finishing 5th in this round robin group. So they were very close together, 13 points for Switzerland, 10 for Belgium. Switzerland will go into this game as slight favourites. They won 3 games with 2 losses and a draw. Belgium 2 wins and 4 losses. So these teams have already met in the round robin stage of the competition on day 1. Belgium 6, Switzerland 7. So
ooh. It says drop off written all over it.
It does indeed, doesn't it? Well, we're almost ready to start.
The final formality that the referees take part in as soon as we get to knockout touch, because I will say referees hate a drop off because it's extra work and we really try and avoid that wherever we can. One of the most experienced referees here, not quite on 100 caps like Greg Taylor, but a very experienced referee, Peter Fassender here, is legendary for managing to manufacture drop-offs, being around when there's a drop-off. So I sincerely hope he is stuffed into a cupboard somewhere, making sure that we can get through this in 40 minutes.
And of course, it would be red against red. Switzerland in all red with the white trim. Belgium, of course, in the red with black and yellow trim. Switzerland going from left to right.
It's a good long ball.
And it's a good long ball, and it's a great start in the quarter-final for Switzerland. They are straight on the board.
A great sight to see the cap nodding up and down of the sideline referee, Mel Day, and oh no, it looks like she's actually going to have to referee the game. She's in the middle now. Yeah, really, really good start from Switzerland. Nice long ball. The guy had acres to sort of get his score in. So what have Belgium got in response?
So here's the replay.
Yeah,
Drop on the 7 metre, and it was a really good ball out to the wing.
Yeah, I mean, you could say maybe that the wing actually looks like he's moving a little gingerly there, so I don't know, he might have been carrying a little bit of an injury, because you want to see him chase hard as soon as it's obvious that's where they're looking.
Belgium going through, but I think the touch was made, and Mel Day calling the touch.
So we've got Theo Edwards, Mel Day up on from England on this game. Well, Mel Day actually from Australia, but we like to claim her. And there's a score there! Just drifted through the middle like a hot knife through Belgian chocolate. So, yeah, just pace. Pace does it.
Yeah, there's a great burst through, and Belgium on level terms. It was number 7 for Belgium, Quentin Jean. We'll see it here. And he had a lot of work to do, but he suddenly finds that hole. He's got the speed. Richard Watts can't get over to make the touch. And Belgium all square.
Yeah, you almost psych yourself out in defence sometimes with scores like that. Number 5's almost going for it there as well, where you worry so much about pre-touch and post-touch and setting yourself up correctly. Oh, I think that's not quite going to be a score. Yes, it is.
It is. So Switzerland straight back in the lead. Belgium not happy, and there's a little bit of an argument between the Belgian players as they come off. They were not happy with each other there.
You know, I always think good team culture is people sort of not pointing fingers and putting their hands up instead, and you worry a bit when you see a team sort of getting in each other a little bit about that, but who's to say. Good decision from Theo Edwards there. Belgian player completely lost control of the ball at the roll there. There's a little gust of wind. We nearly lost the TV screen. I think it might be affecting play as well. Theo Edwards just had to run a shuttle there. They had a ball was turned over by Belgium, then turned over immediately by Switzerland. So he's doing his up and backs nice and quick. Okay. Number 10 scoops, gives
space.
Acres out
Oh, he's
there.
got it.
Little juggle and a score, and a very clear
And that just goes to show how much time he had. Matthew Locust there. He had time to gather the ball, spin, and still get to the line and put it down.
Yeah, well, if you said he had time to catch it 3 times, it turns out he needed to catch it 3 times. So, yeah, that was well-manufactured opportunity. It could have been finished off a little more clinically, but actually, you know, all good on that.
What a start to this game as we see the replay of the try here. And it's just, they attract the Swiss defence over, and that just leaves so much space. But you've got to give credit to Matthew Lakis there. He read so well to catch the ball.
Yeah, really did, and it wasn't. Are we roasting him a little bit for juggling it? We shouldn't. It wasn't an easy take.
No,
so
I think because it was high, it seemed to be almost shoulder height, so he had to bring his hands up to get the ball, which sort of turned his body away, and then he had to spin round and head for the open space over the try line. A touch claimed there.
Number 7, Jahan, scoring at one end and saving at the other, and then Mel Day giving the decision here, and it's a nice clear call of a touch, and now Belgium getting off their line.
It's another touch, and
I think you might be milking that just a little bit. When your momentum's already taking you, so usually your momentum's taking you against the direction of the touch, right? You're running towards a player and they're pushing you away. When it sometimes is going in the direction you're already going, you are going to get a little bit of a shunt and a bit of a speed up. And I think maybe number 7 probably was just thankful for the helping hand back to the line there. It's a nice little sub play. They're just looking to draw in that mid, but I think I was going to say he's probably gone to the wrong side. But I'm not sure he has.
Brilliant! Oh, has he got it down?
He definitely hasn't got it down, so I think that's going to be a turnover. But made a little bit of something from nothing there. Really not clear where that space came from. So Theo Edwards setting up for the penalty here, and then they'll start to drive off their own line. Switzerland looking for their chance to get some fresh legs on and go at Belgium. There's a little overlap there. I don't think he should have dummied that. I think he could have given the winger and they would have made some yards. So nice little drive up through the middle.
He's coming down. Now they're looking to go through the middle again.
They've gone quite expansively. You'd expect someone to scoot here, but actually it took them a little while to get to the ball, so there's less of an opportunity. And it's a good call there. The Switzerland player thinks he had his defender offside, but he didn't. Gave him a little shoulder. This is a physical game.
Very physical.
Yeah. Oof, I was worried for the player there. A bit of not a hospital pass because he had enough time, but it certainly made him jump up to reach it. So Belgium driving to their box. Last time they did that, they managed to create this kind of opportunity out of nothing. So who's to say what will come from this?
Down it goes again. Oh, he's through and down. Was the touch made? I don't think it was.
The Switzerland player is denying the touch, but the Belgian player, I think, might be claiming that it was made. So the referees are going to be talking about this. It's honestly, it's a frustrating thing that's crept into the game. So number 3 here tries to sort of do a no touch. He tries to force a involuntary roll ball, which is a penalty against the attacking team. You need to be touched to roll the ball. But actually, I think that the question here is, did Belgium make the touch? So there's a decision been made, and it is the involuntary roll ball. For me, I wish players would stop going for it. 90% of the time it doesn't work. You just give away extra yards. It's not skilled usually to draw that. It's often just a defender sort of having a little crack at doing it. So still nearly created the chance, nearly created a Belgian score, and now here comes Switzerland.
Yes, Switzerland driving towards the try line, but they've turned it over.
Yeah, it's Belgium coming back towards their box. We're into the grind, right? So we've had plenty of opportunities early on. We've got our 2-2 already, and now we're into this phase where both teams are just driving at each other, and they're just going to have to keep this pressure up and see who breaks first, see who can't keep them out on these 4th and 5th touches. So by rights, it should be easier to defend. You're in a situation where there's only 1 or 2 touches they can actually use to attack off.
Down it goes.
And there
this
was
final
5.
touch. Comes out to the wing. Good quick passing, but again, good tight defence by Switzerland to keep it out. Great play by Benjamin Schoenfeld and also Jose Nicolas Ortego Nieto of Switzerland keeping that out.
Yep, they're coming up towards their box. It was good defence by Belgium. We've got to look and see now what either team's going to manufacture, because they're both teams looking really, really resilient in defence right now. Possibly running into a bit of a blind alley here. He was also the half, so he'll give the ball up. I think they had another touch to play with, so I'm not sure that was the best play, but all good.
Down it goes. Belgium take the opportunity to get a new pod on, and it was a very fluent change.
Yeah, very clear change. A nice little scoop from the wing there, and then he just played it back inside. Had a Swiss player in his way playing at it, so they've got 6 more. So they've earned this opportunity to have a bit more of an attack than they would have otherwise. They'll use 1, maybe 2 to get themselves towards the line, and then they've got multiple chances to try and strike.
Well, maybe a bit of space over on the right hand side. No, tried the.
So he dropped the ball, but he had a player not advancing or offside, I think, just before then, which is kind of, to be honest, a bit of a get out of jail free, because he did drop the ball there. Yeah, all good otherwise.
So Belgium diving through. I think the touch was made.
Just a question about the onside there. Players are usually focusing on other things than exactly where they dump the ball. The reason the rules were slightly changed recently to say that if you dump the ball on the 7, so the offside distance is 7 metres, so if you dump the ball on the dotted line, you know the defence go to the solid line, near that score area. Players sometimes don't recognise when they haven't quite dumped the ball on that 7, so they'll get annoyed when they see a defender not make that solid line. Couple another opportunity there for Belgium, but well shut out by Switzerland.
Yeah, and after the 4 very early scores, both defences have really tightened up, and it's a hell of a game so far.
Yeah, absolutely, and as you say, it often goes this way. So you start with a tap off because that's how the game starts, and what that means is 6 attacks on the line, or 4 or 5 attacks on the line, and then you get to this point where we are now, where both teams opened up with the scores, and now we're just trying to keep things tight. Oh, I think there was a chance there. I think that little bat down by the Belgian winger has just saved his team a score there.
There was space over on this far left-hand side. And I think he was looking for the interception there, number 6, Trent McGifford.
We love to see that.
If he'd have managed to sort of, he palmed it forward and then was looking to get back onto it and probably run the length of the pitch.
Bit of excitement for that. It would certainly get the blood pumping for Mel. She's, spent the last few days standing around up here. Now all of a sudden she's got to go full pace up the pitch. But yeah, it happened there. We had a man lying on the floor. He sort of looked like he was giving his mate a little shove just to kind of encourage him forwards.
A big touch, but apologies, and we carry on.
Yeah, physical game. They're really looking to get stuck into each other a little bit here, and the refs will just have to keep a lid on that if they can.
Belgium run out of touches on their latest set, and Switzerland have the ball again.
It really ground to a halt there for Belgium. They'd been previously making decent yardage, sort of over halfway, past the 10-metre line, the dotted line just past halfway, and beyond that. That one really just kind of, jammed up around halfway.
Here comes Switzerland again. Going into the middle. Down again, so they're at 7 metres running through. There was space on the left-hand side. There's Patrick Stadler out there again. He scored the opening try for the Swiss.
Well, they will have another bite of the cherry, so we're going back for an offside penalty. So, as you say, a very good opportunity for a long ball out to the wing. Wasn't executed. I think it may have had a deflection, I'm not sure. But equally now, we're back in it. We've got an opportunity to really come at it here.
And 7 metres out, down it goes.
Little quickie play between 4 and 7, and that touch very well knocked off by the other mid. So this is a good example of how they're sort of most teams are thinking about defence. It's not about who your man is, it's about where your space is. So that inside space is being dealt with by the other mid, the sort of non-touching mid, and that outside space, that space towards the short side of the pitch, is being dealt with by the mid who makes the touch. And like that, it means that one player, the touching player, can really commit to getting onside. They don't have to keep their hips neutral and defend on both sides of the body. That's a nightmare. And there's a touch there, and it's fixed touch. Really good defence from Belgium. Really think they should be happy with that. It was a tough opportunity to defend.
It was us. Switzerland thought they'd got it over, thought they'd taken the lead.
Offside penalty in the middle of the pitch, yeah.
So Belgium starting with 6 again. So they're over halfway with 5 touches in hand.
Driving in now, driving in really well, real intent here. And then I think they're probably going to have a little scoop and see if they can do something with the 4-on-3.
Oh, great pass he's taken, but
it was a bit cursory.
A bit long, wasn't it? And
yeah.
It just hung in the air a bit, which allowed the number 14 of Switzerland, Jose Nicolas Ortego Nieto, to just get over and make the touch.
So, for me, from number 7 from Belgium on that first attack, that sort of pass we were talking about, it was a bit neither now nor summer. He wasn't really running at the line himself, and he wasn't really setting up to commit and throw either. And that, I think, was the issue. There was no real clarity on where he's going with that. And then Switzerland, just driving forwards and seeing what opportunities they can make from this game. So the link keeps going, gets himself back on side, and we've got two mids shaping up here, and a little bit of a throw to nothing. Again, I think Switzerland just happy to let that ball get turned over on that far side, make Belgium's life a little harder to sub.
So Belgium start again, staying over on that side. It's scooped up.
It's good.
Now they'll make some changes.
Yeah, you don't want to see teams come too hard too early to the sub box. It's not good for them to just give that space up really early. Really clear indications from the referee what the issue was there, and we could see the touching player from Switzerland wrapped an arm around the Belgian player. That's just not part of the game. So good call there, and again it gives Belgium this little extra opportunity. I'd say Belgium have had the better of this half. Would you say that's fair?
Yes, I think that they've probably had the clearer chances. I think it was very even as it got to 2-2, but Belgium, I think, have stretched away, and they've stretched away now. They go 3-2 ahead, and like you say, Robin, they've probably been the better team so far, and now they have the scoreline to show for it.
Well, the power of prophecy strikes once again. I'll need to go and buy a lottery ticket after this. But yeah, no, that was a really good score from Belgium. Just, I don't want to say lazy on a sort of day 4 of a 5-day tournament, but I think that link player needed to come in, cover his gap a little bit earlier than he did, and it just meant there was a little opportunity there. Same thing happening here, though.
Straight from the tap off, and again it's 3-3. Gerald Ho puts the ball down. And what a game we have here.
They've decided we've had enough of watching them drive the ball up and back, and now we've got to watch them get some scores on, which is always going to be fun.
So he checks back in, Matt Winton, and then it comes into the hole for Gerald Ho just to exploit and put the ball down. So straight from the tap off, Switzerland draw it back level. What a game we're having here. And I suppose it's just that raising the level of intensity. There's so much riding on this now, with it being a knockout, a semi-final place at stake. Both teams know what's available to them, and both teams absolutely giving everything to try and make that semi-final.
Definitely, and this is the most even of the semi-finals. So with the way the seedings were set up, the others were sort of playing, across their placings a lot more. These two were slap bang next to each other, and like we said, their previous meeting was only one score in it. So they'll know how tight this is. They'll know how evenly matched they are, and boy howdy, the scores bear that out right now. And the game as well. It's not a case that we've got 3-3, but one team's definitely had their hammer down. They'll try a little cheeky quick tap. Veerwood was having none of it.
So Belgium start again. Swiss defence advances. Down it goes. Now the space open on the right hand side. He's just going to try and run,
and he is quick.
And he's down. Cheers from the Belgian sub-box in front of us. And Belgium take the lead once again, and it's that man Quentin Jan who pops the ball down. And Belgium 4-3 ahead.
He's rapid, and that is the simplest and best attribute you can have as a touch player. All these people who think and throw long balls and find spaces, just run really hard, mate, and that's what he's done there.
He only had one intention there. He had the player wide open on his right hand side. If he'd passed the ball out, a catch, and it was a certain try anyway, but he only had eyes for the line, and he had the speed to do it. And Belgium lead 4-3. We're into the final 2 minutes of this first half, and it's been a fantastic first half as Switzerland look to come straight back, but I think the touch was made.
No, all good. He chopped his hole really nicely. Yeah, nice little score there.
And fair play to Switzerland because they've gone behind twice now. Oh, wait a minute. No.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So she was happy with the lack of a touch on the way through, but we've gone back for a different element of the decision. So it's back to 3-3 between the two teams.
Yeah.
Up we go now, coming sort of again up to the Belgian sub box, and they've done exactly the same. They've got some nice players in there. Oh. Overplayed his hand a little bit there, 12. I think he had a little bit of space in front of him, got a bit overexcited with it.
Oh, it's gone down. Switzerland have the ball back into the final minute, so probably time for one more drive.
Yeah, and if you're Switzerland, it would sort of feel pretty good to get that on the score. It would feel pretty good to get yourself onto terms before you come into this game.
They make changes from their sub box, comes back into the middle. Good speed, but the ball is rolled, and that's going to give it back to Belgium, is it?
No, it's a penalty for in the ruck. So the Belgian player who made the touch was obviously the cause for that ball being spilled. He would have got a big clod-hopping boot on it or something similar. 5 is just chasing out. There's space out on the wing, and he's got the ball. He's got too much of the ball, I would say.
I think it may have been forward anyway, because the ball ended beyond the try line. It was certainly played from behind it. But the hooter goes anyway, and the whistle goes. What a half of touch rugby that was.
Absolutely end to end, yeah.
And if anything showed the importance of this game, it was the intensity that both teams played at during that 20 minutes. As we look at the highlights from this opening half, and it was Switzerland who started off so well, so quickly. Ball coming out to the left-hand side.
Yeah, really good long ball from the Swiss to set up that game, and it's a carbon copy almost of the one that they didn't quite execute the second time round, just towards the end of the half there. So they know it was a productive one for them.
Many thanks to Jack, our cameraman, who was
battening down the hatches.
Created a temporary windbreak to stop the monitor from flying away. And here's one of the Belgian tries as they look to get all square. This one came out to the right-hand side. Good juggle.
Yeah,
good
the juggle and dive, wasn't it? Yes,
Yeah.
I'd almost forgotten about that one, yeah.
Matthew Locus, who put that one down, so that was 2-2.
So I think we were saying just before the score that Belgium had the better of the half, and I think they definitely capped that off very clearly that they did. But many reasons, and it's an execution of a different long ball away from being 4-4, and we had that other one struck off just before as well. So there's scores out there for Switzerland as well that they can definitely absolutely find with what they've got in their team.
This is Belgium going over again. Number 12, Bryce Kanarak going over. This Switzerland came straight back again. And that was a great pass for Gerald Hope to find the hole and pop the ball down.
Yeah, really good. I mean, all of the scores I would say have been really well executed. These are two teams playing some really nice touch.
And this was Quentin Jahan, who just absolutely turned on the burners. Only had one intent, and that was to go for the line. And this was the
disallowed one. So I think it might be that pass had been forced forwards on the way through, I think was the issue. Not sure, but I believe that's why we had that one struck down. So yeah, we've got an awful lot of back and forth ahead of us, I'd say. Does it have the feel to you of a drop-off?
I wouldn't bet against it.
No.
I certainly wouldn't bet against it. I think it depends. It depends how this second half starts. Belgium have the tap off. If they can make a start to the second half like Switzerland did to the first, if they can get the score from this tap off, go 2 ahead, does that then give them the momentum? Because then Switzerland have to pull 2 back, which obviously they'll have plenty of time to do. But
it's a bigger ask.
It's a bigger
Yeah.
ask, and if Belgium can maintain that sort of 2-point advantage throughout the half, then Switzerland have to get desperate, and then they have to take risks and they have to take chances, which then maybe Belgium can exploit. There's so many things that can happen now in this second half.
You're right though. It's so huge that one score margin. It just really changes things up a bit. You're absolutely right. Belgium get that first score, it really just ratchets up that difficulty, ratchets up that tension for Switzerland to get themselves back into the game. If Switzerland get that score, it's just back to terms. And then it becomes a question of, can they keep trading punches like they've been doing so far? Can they have a situation where Belgium can come back, draw themselves back a nose in front, those kind of things. Big that Belgium are starting with the tap-off as well, so it means that they've got the first opportunity to get some good possession, good opportunity to score here.
This is a really important drive for Belgium, and you can almost sense the tension from their sub-box from up here now, because you can see they're all, either sitting still, hands on hips, or just going from foot to foot. They know how important this tap-off is.
It's a cruel thing, sport, isn't it? And this is it. We're all amateurs, everyone, the referees, the players, everyone will have put their life on hold for hours, weekends on end to prepare for this. And you've got 20 minutes and it's going to make a massive difference to where this goes. I don't think that either of these teams would have really, really strong thoughts of finishing top. I think there's some really strong teams in this division, but this is probably a really good indication of success or failure for them. And it's a really unfortunate, unforced error from Belgium there. Just an incorrect roll ball, nicely spotted and turned over. And it gives Switzerland this opportunity. And as we were saying, if they can get themselves back to terms, we're trading as equals. We're 4-all.
I think in the context of this game, the next score is absolutely massive. Switzerland get it, they're all level. Belgium get it, they go 2 ahead, and then you bring in all the scenarios that I mentioned earlier. And then I suppose if Belgium do manage to get 2 ahead, it depends how long they can hold on to that sort of 2-point advantage.
Yeah, definitely. And also just the passage of time through the game. And what I mean by that, a 1 score, 20 minutes to go is, plenty. There's loads of ways for you to get back into that game. And number 7, he's going to have a dive, and I think that's good.
They're looking. That is good. And Belgium do get that 2-point advantage that we talked about.
We said it would be huge, we said it would be massive, and I think it absolutely has the chance to prove to be here. Number 7, I think they're all worried about tracking him. And number 8 just snuck off to one side.
Matthew Locust just made the space, the hole opened up and he dived over. So for the first time in this game, one of the teams has a 2-point advantage, and it is Belgium. Switzerland with work to do. They've got plenty of time to do it. We still have 18.5 minutes left, but in the context of this game, it's so important. It's a knockout, and
Switzerland kicking, and it's down as well. It's a good score.
Mel gives it, and Switzerland straight back from the tap-off. How many times did we see that in the first half?
Yeah, but as we said, because of that one try differential coming into this, it leaves Belgium on top, and if they can even just keep this going, then they're in a really good position. They're obviously in a really good position to just keep that little stranglehold on the game, keep that little advantage.
It was Thomas Blazer that time putting the ball over Switzerland. Oh, that was a interesting pass, but it worked out for the Belgians.
Yeah, it was a bold one, wasn't it? Threw it over the top of the Switzerland defender, created some chances. I mean, they've got a free 10 yards out of it, and now they're on the line and they're going to look to run a play.
And again, nothing opening up.
Yeah, a little bit direct.
Has it again.
He's going to use the swing.
Oh, he is.
I think he is. Oh boy, he beat that guy in a handful of meters of space.
Yeah, he had no right really to find that space.
No, but yeah, it just goes from 0 to 60, doesn't he?
Just watch it again here, because he's not even moving. He's not moving there, and then suddenly,
I think,
boom.
It's part of being a quick player that you look at the. I think partly actually the link was overreacting to his threat on the inside, on the space towards his mid, bracketed himself in a little, and then when Quentin started to sprint, it's a tight one. On-field ref is happy with it, sideline ref is happy with it, so we're trading as equals. We're almost back to level pegging. It's going to be 5-6.
So 5-6, it's trading scores at the start of the second half, just like it was at the start of the first. And once again, it's Patrick Stadler. He scored the opener, he scored the latest. 2 for him in this game. And Belgium still in the lead, but only by 1, 6-5.
Yeah, really strong fight back from Switzerland to keep themselves in.
We'll see what Belgium can do.
Number 9 running a sweeper, but they've kicked the short side if he can get it out.
Not completed.
No, he ran out of time, didn't he? I think he had to just kind of flick rather than run through a proper pass with his hands, and it meant that the ball didn't reach his winger.
Well, Belgium still have the advantage. Switzerland have to drive from deep in their own half. They go to the sub box now. So now we will see. And
they've got the pace, and they've actually got a little overlap just on the left-hand side. I think they might have gone the wrong. Oh no, they might have had an overlap, but either way, and there goes the winger diving, and a touch first.
Yeah, touch is given. Okay, we're going to take a short break from this game. Very exciting game. Let's head over to Ian in the studio.
Hello everybody, welcome to the studio. I've got another guest joining me. It's Jason from the Singapore team. Jason, how's it been so far this week?
For us, it's been fantastic. Just the opportunity to, out of the COVID period, to get out of Singapore 3 years and to have the special invite to compete, we can't be thankful enough for.
I was going to say, of course, those not completely our favourite of geography, Singapore is definitely not in Europe. It is the European Championship, but as you said, you've got that special invite. What does it mean to be over here?
For us, it's really to showcase to the rest of the touch community, and bring, I guess, a bit of faith to the touch community in Singapore, to get them out, getting sport going again, and showing that sport's back and alive.
Now, there's been quite a few competitive games out there, hasn't it? What's been your highlight so far this week?
I think the highlight is our game against the English. The team thought that we couldn't get over them, and great win. Yeah, 5-4 against the English. Tournament favourites, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys have got it, haven't you?
Yeah.
What's the mood like in the camp?
Everyone is sore, but pretty much looking forward to the final 2 games, and especially tomorrow, having the English again.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute blast. Well, look, Jason, I won't keep you too much longer. I know you've got to go. Got to get back to your team. Thanks so much for joining us, and it's a real pleasure to have Singapore over here.
No, thank you, English Touch. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, let's hand back to your commentators.
Wow. Many thanks to Ian. It's no let up here. It's Switzerland who have just scored again, but Belgium scored earlier. It was that man, Quentin Jahan, who burst through and passed back for Belgium to go 2 ahead again, but Switzerland just pulling it back within 1 again. We've still got 13.5 minutes left of this game. It's been an absolute cracker. It really has.
You could not slide a Rizzler between these 2 slides right now, I don't think. It's just Belgium ahead by a nose. Is it going to be more? Probably not on this one.
Oh. You know what? That looked absolutely no chance. And
my God.
I thought for a second he'd actually caught it there.
It looked like he had, and so I think the Swiss winger potentially, sometimes the smart decision is to not compete for the ball and not risk giving away a 6 again. But in the end, I think he nearly gave his man the score unopposed. So yeah, we're still cracking on. We're 2 scores in it, and plenty still to play for, obviously.
Yes, indeed. It's
2 scores for Switzerland, 1.
So Belgium on the attack again, and that man Quentin Jahan is on again. He has been driving everything for Belgium. Orchestrating
again, and it's opened up. Oh.
I think the touch was made, was it? Yes, it was. Malday calling the touch.
Well, how do we reckon she's doing?
She's doing a great job.
She is doing a fantastic job, yeah. So now we've got this.
Now what's that forward?
I think Maldek's happy with the score.
Just consultation with signing.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Belgium go 2 ahead again.
There was a
What a
casualness.
pass out.
There was a casualness to Switzerland's defence there. They just sort of slightly checked out. I think it was fifth and last. And in the end, pass was flat, but pass was good.
Hugo Sibeli. It was an unusual pass. It wasn't the usual rugby style pass. It was almost a cricket ball. He was bowling it.
He's wrapped his arm over the top, didn't he, just to really get some revs on it, get it out there flat, which is what was needed. Switzerland player diving for the line, but a touch is good. No touch there, and we're getting the score.
They've come right back again. Neil Walsh brings Switzerland back again within one once again. It's tit for tat, but Belgium keep scoring. Switzerland keep coming back to put it back within one.
And look, Switzerland have managed to get their scores driving out, so it's about like keep them out on one of these sets. Keep them out on one of these sets where they've got tap off and attempts up at the line, and I think we might then see it get even closer between the two teams.
Belgium at the
picked
7,
and
it comes out
gone.
long, but it's not taken, and that gives Switzerland the ball back again. They're going to have to drive from very, very deep, so I fancy this will go over to the sub box, and it will. And now changes are made. 3 touches. That's 4.
They've not got a huge amount of oomph through the middle, but there is always going to be a chance here.
And that's 5th.
Yeah, they're really at a blind alley at this point. Yeah.
Good defence by Belgium. They really snuffed that out.
Yeah, snuffed out definitely is the concept there, isn't it? They just never really got into their stride. And the stands taking up the roar. I think we've got a bit of a favour being returned here. The men were cheering on the women in their women's open game, and now I think the same women, having warmed down, have come to really scream on their men's 30s for this one.
Oh,
and he's opened up for him straight through the middle.
Now, did the touch come in?
I think we're going to a touch. It may be because the player was blocked by the referee, actually. I'm not sure.
Yeah, touch given. But now the space is opened up again. I think he's going to get down. Now he's claimed the touch. There's going to be a consultation. From the naked eye up here, I felt that was down.
I think we're saying that it wasn't finished. Yeah, he dropped it. Really good call there. So he did the sort of casual putting it down by the side of his feet and just stiff, sore body, 4 days of touch, dropped it a little way ahead of the line. Fantastic call from the referee team.
Yeah, it was a really, really good call. Well spotted. And like you say, I said straight away I don't think the touch was made, but I didn't spot that he dropped the ball. So,
well, to be fair to them, they're a little nearer, but yeah. Really, really good spot and keeping the game alive, I thought. So keeping the game very much alive. No,
I think it was forward, possibly. I think it may have been forward as he received the ball. As it is, it's Belgium who have the ball back. Belgium go for a change. Fresh players on. But that's 4 to halfway. And that's 5th touch, so they're going to have to make something happen here. Again, good defence by Switzerland.
Shooting player, so they read the play really well, and they've given away 10 more there, which is really foolish of them, I would say. So they spotted that they were looking to scoop, and an additional defender, the non-touching defender, dropped even further back, so as soon as that touch was made and the ball was in play, he could ram straight up and sort of snipe that scooping player, shut down that play.
Switzerland come again, 1 point behind. 7.5 minutes to play. Put down now. Here's the opportunity. He dives through, but the touch is made and claimed.
No, happy with the score. She's giving the score,
and it is 8-all. And look at the reaction. Thomas Blazer, he geeing the Swiss fans up over on the far side in his own players in the sub box. It's all square at 8-8.
Get off your couches. I think this is going to be right to the wire.
7 minutes left. And it has been so close. And what's that going to do with Belgium? They've got two ahead. Switzerland keep pegging them back, and then they finally manage to get back level again.
Well, yeah, what does that do to your approach, doesn't it? You've got to keep that focus. You've got to remember that for most of the game, you've been stronger.
And they have the ball here. Oh, he's gone through. I think the touch was made. Now the touch is called.
Switzerland coming up off their line a little tentatively, but nice touch by the mid. There's space on the open side. There is space on the open side, but I'm not sure he's made the right decision there. I think his link outside have had enough that he could have just given him a short little pass, maybe got the ball down himself, but easier game from up here.
Well, the noise is now coming from the Swiss fans on the far side as
they've got
is incomplete.
The Swiss fans are bringing the bell. It took me a while into the game when I was refereeing one of the Swiss teams to realise that's what that noise was. I thought it was just my tinnitus, but the Swiss fans have brought a bell with them, so they'll absolutely try and outdo the Belgian fans. And look, this is so much about what Euros is about. Very often, touch is a participant-only sport. There's not really a spectator element to it. And even though the majority of noises come from people who are playing in their own divisions, it's playing in front of a crowd. It's having that pressure. It's having that additional action going on.
Great speed. But the pass.
The winger just didn't quite read what he was looking for there. Didn't know he was going to switch.
Patrick Stadler, and to be fair to Patrick Stadler, he was angry with himself when he realised what was happening.
Yeah, he gave himself the old arm shake, didn't he? He gave himself that.
Well, the Quentin Jahan pod is on.
And it is the Quentin Jahan bod, and it's the Quentin Jahan show, and he's done it again. He's kicking out here. It is a 3-on-2, but not with enough space, and the defence recovered.
I think he's got a couple of touches here. So that's fifth. Oh, brilliant!
Found his hole so well. Really
such a good
pass.
spot. I think the Swiss defence was so focused on Quentin Jahan. They didn't spot the man coming into the hole.
Yeah, and that's the thing with these dangerous players. You don't want to over-focus on them, and they all go a little bit too far towards Quentin's side, have to recover into the other, and there you go.
So I think that was Matthew Guéret who put that down. Great vision from him to go driving towards the hole that opened up. And Belgium take the lead again, but Switzerland come straight back once again, do they? No.
Good call from Mel Day there, touch just on the line, and she's getting the team back up forwards.
Oh, they do now.
Snipe that touch, number 9, and it's 6 touch, it's a turnover.
And
Belgium just 4 minutes left for them to keep this lead if they want to win this game. Driving up through the middle, real pace, real intensity from Belgium. I think that score's really got their tails back up again. It's getting a little bit more edgy as well, a little bit more physical. See some of the contacts between the players, just a little bit more in them.
Well, it's 4 minutes to go in a quarter-final. One of these teams is going to make the semi. A crucial stage of the game as he dived through. I think he has he? Let's look what the referee gives.
Yeah,
he's given the score. Belgium are 2 ahead again. It's 10-8, and what a time to take an advantage like that.
Yeah, really good setup, really good intensity coming through the middle. So we've got a little dump split, gives the ball, and then a dive. Absolutely nothing that we can complain about there from the Swiss team. I think just not quite tight enough on the defence.
Switzerland are going to have to take risks now.
Yeah, they are. Look, knockout touch. There's no reason not to. What are you aiming for? It's got to go long.
Side. It's got to go long. Oh, he's
went
not
too long.
taking it. Now, look at it on the bleachers. They're all standing up. They're all on their feet. What a game this has been, and this is it. If this is any indication of what's to come tomorrow for the knockout games, you are not going to want to miss anything tomorrow.
It is when you've got seedings, when you've got all those kind of things, then some of the games we've seen recently where there's been a little bit of a mismatch are all going away. There are teams who are right up against their equals, and that's where we're going to see these kind of moments come through.
Fantastic stuff that we are seeing here. 2 minutes to go and a little bit. Switzerland on the attack again. They have to commit. 6
really chasing down that touch aggressively, did really well there, but they've checked back
Diving
inside,
through.
and a great recovering touch as well.
Yeah, and the
6 was an absolute hero in defence there. Massive effort from him.
Hear the cheers.
Jason Sternsnegger making that save there. And it's getting physical, it's getting edgy. Just got to keep their cool here. The team that doesn't is the team that's going to be going home empty-handed. Really good pace though. Up they go onto that side, and now they're going to look to set up. I think they've got one touch.
They have indeed. There
11.
it is.
Oh no, they didn't
no.
have one touch.
And Switzerland have it back. 90 seconds. They really have to drive quickly now, Switzerland, because they have to score twice, and the clock is not on their side at the moment. And it's noticeable how quiet it has gone over on the far side, and how it is jumping on this side of the field.
Come on, Switzerland, we've got to have more cowbell. But Belgium absolutely giving them nothing.
A minute to go, and Belgium have the ball. They've just got to manage this time out now. They make the changes. They're going to try and drive as deep as possible.
We're not far away from a situation where the Belgium team will just be focused on slowing things down. I think they'll go one more attack, they'll look to move it forwards, and then I think they'll take a little heat out of the game and just try and slow things down.
They are, you can see it here, they're just...
Yeah, there's no rush.
Yeah, they're great game management from them. And now
And
can
are
they
they
put
gonna
the
cap it
seal on
off?
it?
I think they are. I don't think the link is claiming it. No, he's not, and it's another
11-8 Belgium, and Belgium are going to go through to the semi-finals.
Hard lines for Switzerland. I don't think it's been that much of an unmatched game. I don't think it's an 11-8 game.
There's
I
the
think they
hooter.
just really went hard to try and get themselves something at the end. Belgians coming off the bleachers, absolutely delighted.
Yes, what a celebration. What a fantastic game of touch rugby. The intensity, the drive from both teams was phenomenal, and that was an absolute joy to watch.
Absolute thriller of a game, fantastic. Brilliant result for Belgium, heartbreak for Switzerland, but boy can they keep their heads held up high. That was a fantastic battle.
Yeah, it really, really was. And if this is any indication of what's to come tomorrow, bring it on. That's all I can say.
Yeah, if I can't be reffing, at least I'll get to see some good touch. Yeah, all be good there. So, no, definitely plenty more to come from there.
Robin, thanks so much for coming up for the past couple of games. It's been great to have your company.
Thank you for letting us have Mel.
No problem at all. Thank you so much. Well, what a game that was. We need to take a bit of a breather in the commentary box. So for now, I'm going to hand back over to Ian in the studio. Ian, back to you. Try and sum that one up.
Well, John, I can't. I mean, how good was that? Huge congratulations to Belgium. They've made it through to the semi-finals. Maybe it's because Switzerland didn't have one of their mascots here. There's no captured mascot today, but apparently this little fella keeps getting stolen and being brought back up here to the pavilion. Now, as you can see, we've got a couple of the trophies that made their way up. Tomorrow is finals day. Who is going to be crowned champions across all of our categories? The later afternoon games are your mixed open, your women's open and your men's open finals. You can see it all live as well, so don't you worry about that. Brand new trophy this as well. Look, the plaque, it's got no names on it yet at all. Same with this one. This is the one we showed the other day too. But look, a lot of nice stuff indeed. Next game coming up, there's a little bit of a gap now, sort of another 5 minutes or so. So there's only really one thing left to do, and that is to hand over to myself actually in the commentary box. Yes, I'm going to be taking over commentary duties for the next game. So I'm going to go get myself prepared, and we'll be back for the next game. It's going to be an absolute corker if it's anything like that one. Don't go far. Well, hello everybody, welcome back to the action here on Field 1. I'm joined by Jordan for Scotland, Wales in the women's 35 round robin, but this is going to, we're going to have to really up our energy levels after that game, aren't we? I don't know how on earth we're going to follow that, because it was a cracker, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just caught the end of it then. There's a few people flying about saying this one's going to drop off, this one's going to drop off, and then I just heard noise after noise from the Belgian box in front of us. It was chaos.
Well, it was. It was
chaos.
Heading that way for a long time. There was just one score in it for pretty much all of the game until the end, when eventually Belgium just managed to get their noses in front and take it away. Right, let's turn our attention now then to the women's 35 round robin. It's Scotland and Wales. Now let's have a little look at the table, shall we? England leading the way. Get this, they played 8, they've won 8, they've scored 87, only conceded 8 have England, so they top the table. Then come Wales in second, played 8, won 3, lost 3, drawn 2, but they've scored 33, conceded 38. Then Ireland in third place, played 8, won 3, lost 3, drawn 2, so very similar to Wales really. Scored 27, conceded 40. And in Scotland, propping up the table, played 8, they've lost all 8, they've scored 11 times, conceded 72. So obviously Wales are going to come into the favourites here, but quite a big game for Wales then, because they're edging Ireland pretty much by try difference, if we call it. So they're going to be looking to try and score big if they can, Jordan.
Yeah, I think that we talked about a little bit this morning about there'll be teams today that are kind of on different paths and sort of setting themselves different goals, and maybe not more so than these two teams at the minute. So Wales obviously preparing themselves for tomorrow. They'll want to be fine-tuning a few things. Scotland, on the other hand, they'll be looking to learn a few things and maybe pull something back here. Obviously, they're not probably not where they want to be in the table, but we keep saying it, like these tournaments are such a learning process, and it's about taking things into obviously not only the next day and the next game, but like next year as well. So days like today and games like this are just big learning curves, big learning processes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's well said, isn't it? There are there is a gulf in quality between certain teams here, isn't it? But the only way you can improve it and close that gap is by competing against them, playing against them, learning from them as well.
Yeah, correct. I mean, you can say the same thing about, you'd probably say in the opens categories anyway, that England are probably the top team in most of those categories, but compare ourselves to Australia, New Zealand, we're still a developing country, and if we're not playing them types of teams regularly, then we're never going to improve. And that's for the same in every level of sport. And it's no different in touch. The day, it's long days and long games, and you've just got to take everything from it you can. And I keep saying it, but the benefits will come if this group of Scotland players can remain, keep that nucleus together for next year and the year after. And it comes undone a little bit when there's new faces coming in next year and they have a completely new team. They've got to stick together after this and learn as much as they can from it. But no, I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. So in the Scotland team, you have Gillian Bond, Ruth Cameron, Sila Clark, Donna McCrillis, Isla Falconer, Susan Ferguson Ward, Jill Guild, Rachel Howe, Donna Jacobs, Ruth Kerr, Linda Leslie, Lizelle Holmes, Sarah McCauley, Sarah Ebbett, Fiona McKinnon, Alison Morrison. Lining up for Wales in the squad, we have Ellen Llewellyn, Rachel Stenson, Natasha Matthews, Bethan Van Scholwick, Larry Loud Hughes, Camilla Bruton, Rachel Letman, Sarah Price, Cheryl Villis, Joanna Seymour, Abby King, Rachel Stevens, no, not the one from S Club 7, Claire Jones and Samantha Healy. And it's almost time to get underway, Jordan.
That's an old a throwback reference, that.
Show me age there.
I think I only just got that.
You knew exactly what I was talking about.
I did, yeah.
So Scotland going to get things underway for us here, the women's 35 round robin match. It promises to be a corker, doesn't it? Scotland and Wales. Here we go.
Scotland did a bit of a formation in this tap-off here. I think most teams do have 1, 2, maybe 3 tap-off moves that they're confident scoring off, and Scotland, I'd be very surprised if they don't go into a tap-off move here. So they'll work their way down to the 7 to begin with a little bit of 4-man driving, 1 arrow from one side, 1 into the other. Now they're at the 7, now they can break into their attacking plays.
I commentated on a few games today as well, and wide play has been used quite a lot today, throwing the long balls. Is this a tactic that you would recommend?
That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I need to see those pills going over the top.
Those pills.
More pills. It's 5th touch for Scotland, so going to have to generate some momentum from a bit of a static play, and it's always so difficult to do that. But we'll get a little bit of a taste now of what Wales is subbing and their transition is like, and they've got a long way to come over to their box now. It's been killed quite smartly in that far corner by Scotland.
Yeah, these two teams have already met twice in the European Championship. They met on Wednesday, Scotland 1, Wales 9. They met yesterday 2, Scotland 2, Wales 10. So 8 points to gap in both games so far.
Yeah, a little bit of a gulf between the two teams. I think, like we keep saying, Scotland will just look to be learning from it, but Wales, good yards already. It's so dangerous having a good transition and a good sub-in and being able to get your players on and off quickly. We touched on it yesterday, and it's such an important part of the game. It's something that teams really work hard on perfecting, but equally the other teams will try and put that off with some good midfield D and try and put them under a little bit of pressure, which is what Wales are doing now. Excellent stuff.
Scotland's top scorer, incidentally, so far in the European Championship, Rachel Letman. She's gone over 6 times. For Wales, Ruth Kerr and Silah Clark with 3 apiece. Scotland on the break here. Can she get it offloaded?
Back of it?
Yes, she can.
Great score.
Jordan, it's TRY time.
You've been dying to get that in.
Yes.
We talked about subbing, we talked about transition, and that's where it pays off. If you're driving hard, then you've got your opposition on the back foot. You can get through to a 5th touch scoop, and then it's just about finding your mirror. What they've done really smart there, I didn't catch the number, but the ball carrier's gone straight through and gone to right at the back of the in goal, which gives her loads of space, a good view of where her players are at, and they're just able to dot it down. That was smart.
Yeah, I think it was Linda Leslie who got the try there. And it was only Scotland's 12th try in the tournament so far. So it's just about experience, getting as many scores as possible, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Wales looking to run 32 short here. They are going on the link, but they'll run into a bit of a long play. Nice ball, and it's just not been able to come off. So Scotland have done some really good goal line defence there. They've dealt with those 2 Welsh players really well, and now they're going to try and work to the box. A little bit of a loose carry. It's not been missed. It's been missed by the refs. Sorry, they were changing over just as that happened, and Scotland have got away with that.
Yeah, Scotland in possession. It's Scotland 1,
nice.
Wales 0. Early doors still in this game in the first half, and using those wings.
I think that's touch 3. What you want to do now from a Scotland point of view is try and get to that is 5th touch. So they've gone for a strike play, and it's a middle scoop, and Wales have dealt with it well.
Yeah, they have. They're good position really to go on the attack.
Yeah, so obviously Scotland weren't able to get down to the Welsh line there, so Wales have got a little bit more room to get to their strike play on first. See, they're in the Scotland half, and that's only second, and the referee's caught a forward pass there. Bruce Lockie, quite an experienced referee.
Yeah, I do want to say. I was going to say, but then I was going to call it, and then I thought if it doesn't come off, I look stupid, and if it does come off, I look like a genius. But I thought I'm probably more likely to look stupid, so I won't say anything. Scotland on the attack now, leading 1-0 in this game, and going quite nicely indeed. The scorelines previously, as we've said, they've been beaten by 8 points in both games that they've met so far in the Championship. Scotland still looking for their first win. They've lost all 8, but they've been quite solid so far, Jordan.
Yeah. There's just a bit of a shame that they had a bit of good position, and they were in a bit of good ball, and they just went a little bit too lateral. They lost the way a little bit, and sometimes because you practice so much of your subbing from your own line, when you actually get the ball back in good position but you still want to get off,